Good day to you. It is a Tuesday, and it is very, very warm. So I'm going to tell you a little story today. So this is the story of Beauty and the Beast by Jean-Marie Le Prince du Beaumont, retold by Elizabeth Rudd, retold by me. Long ago in a faraway land lived a rich merchant and his family, 3 daughters and 3 sons. So basically their mom died when they were little and their father took care of them, and he was really rich because he was a merchant, like the book said. The youngest daughter is Belle, who's really pretty, and that's why they call her Beauty, because she's pretty. But she's really nice and everyone likes her. So yeah. Then disaster struck. A messenger arrived at the palace and told of a violent storm off the coast of Africa. The merchant's fleet of ships, fully laden with precious cargo, was battered against a cruel reef by mountainous seas. Not one ship nor one brave soldier survived. So basically now they're poor. So then they get this news that apparently one of his ships is okay, and he's like, oh, awesome! So he goes off to go check, and Belle, the only thing she tells him she wants is some flowers. So he's like, okay, cool, and goes away. But it turns out the ship, he couldn't actually get anything from it, and he goes back home. And then he comes to this house, and goes in, and there's food there and stuff, and so he eats the food, and he stays the night, and then he wakes up, and there's breakfast, and he's like, oh, awesome, but there's no one there, so, like, why do you go into a house and eat food? And so the next day he leaves, but then, turning for a final look at the mysterious castle, he noticed white roses trailing over the wall and remembered Beauty's request. He gathered a bunch, glad that he could at least please one of his daughters. I think you can see where this is going. As he did so, he heard a terrible roar, and there before him loomed a hideous beast. "Villain!" screamed the beast. "You have enjoyed my hospitality, but that is not enough. You must steal my property." "Oh, alas, I shall never see my Beauty again." The beast is like, Beauty? Beauty you speak of. Basically, the beast is like, oh, okay, you can, I'll spare your life if you send your daughter back to me. And the merchant's like, what? But he pretends to agree so he can see her again. And then he goes home, and he tells his family about it, and Beauty says, "To go back on your word might anger the beast further and bring disaster on all of us. I shall go to the beast, as you promised, and perhaps I may reason with him and calm his fury." He's nice to her. That's pretty much the entire middle of the story. He is sort of worried about her dad because he's pining for her. Someone always pines in fairy tales, every time. And so she says, oh, can I go back and see my dad? And the beast is like, okay. If you leave, though, I'm pretty sure you're never going to want to come back, and then I will die of grief. And she's like, it's fine, I'll come back. And so she goes, and she just kind of stays longer and longer. She keeps talking to her family, and just kind of keeps staying. She dreams about the beast, and he's dying. And then she's like, oh my god, I miss him, and I love him so much, oh my god. And so she goes back, and he's dying. "Oh, beast," sobbed Beauty, "you must not die. Whilst absent from you, I realized I love you dearly and would gladly marry you." Beauty's tears fell on the poor beast as she cradled his head in her arms, and as they fell, a most wonderful change occurred. There, in her arms, instead of a beast, was the most handsome prince Beauty had ever seen. "But what has become of the beast?" cried the startled Beauty. And so Beauty journeyed to the kingdom of the prince, where they married and lived happily ever after. But wasn't that sweet? So that was the story of Beauty and the Beast. Have a lovely week. I will see you next Tuesday.